Dolla Docta Jennifer here, and we have another animal investigation. So I put together some new things. I had a couple different items sent to me, I think. 3, I honestly don't remember who sent them, so I'm really sorry. If you are watching, comment below and take credit, because I don't remember if I looked them up, or I'm pretty sure someone sent them to me. So we are going to go over 5 different items today. The first was brought to us by Janet, who also goes by Bryn Diaz on YouTube. She has a channel, it'll be linked below. And I'm wearing this shirt because of it. Cats are greater than people. And this came in my latest cat lady box. If you want to see my unboxing of that box, check out my video from earlier this week. I'll try and link that above somewhere if I can remember. But our first item is this cat handkerchief. Janet got this in one of her fun boxes from thredUP. Wasn't sure if it was a cat or dog, but pretty sure it's a cat. And I would go as far as say it's a domestic short hair, which is not technically a breed, but it's mostly what we see here in the US. And where are my notes? Always a good time here at the Dolla Docta Jennifer show. Anyway, the domestic short hair is a good amount of the US cats. It really is 90 to 90% of cats that are in the US are domestic short hairs. It's not really technically a breed. It's just a type of cat. It doesn't have a really specific breed. It's kind of like a mutt almost, I guess you would say, of the cat world. In Great Britain, they call them moggies, which I just found out and I think is amazing. I think that's how you say it. Moggies, M-O-G-G-I-E-S. So it's not technically a breed, and they come in a wide range of colors and eye colors. But there are slight differences between the domestic short hair in the US versus Asian countries. Or I should say US and Europe and Asian countries. In Asian countries, they tend to have a smaller, leaner build, like a Siamese or a Tonkinese, which are, you know, some of the main Oriental breeds. While in Europe, in the US, they tend to have a thicker, heavier build, as I can attest from cats I saw today at work. They was chunky monkeys. Chunky. So, as people know, the cat was originally domesticated in Egypt, and it is said that they brought the cat to the US on the Mayflower. They had it on the ship to help with rodent control. So that is kind of interesting how they ended up over here. Obesity is an issue. Again, chunky monkeys. I had multiple talks with people about that today. And they can get a variety of diseases and issues, but I will say, and from what I see in work as well, the biggest issues I see are kidney disease, thyroid disease, urinary issues, and allergies. And I mean, I've had one. I don't have one now. My cat is actually domestic long hair, although I do think he might have some something bigger in him, because he's a big boy, and not a chunky monkey boy. He's a big boy. Anyway, there's not actually a lot on specifically domestic short hair, because it's not technically a breed, but from work and everything else, they are well loved. They are anything from alley cat, feral cats to well loved house cats, and you can find them everywhere. So if they can find a place to live, they will. So that is our first item. Thank you, Janet, for sending me that picture. And we are going to move on to our next item, which was sent to me by Margaret. And I will link her channel below. They are these sheep slippers. And they are from what I can tell from the picture, based on sheep breed, they are most likened to the Norfolk horn sheep. This is a British blackface sheep breed, which is primarily raised for meat. It's adapted to survive on poor forage because it lives in cooler, dry climates. Both sexes actually do have horns, but the males, of course, are bigger than the females because males are always going to be better. Anyway. They are a very flighty sheep breed, and they can jump over fences and obstacles. So the biggest interesting thing about this sheep breed is that it almost went extinct, and kind of is extinct in a sense. They almost died out, but they were revived by the RBST, which is the Rare Breeds Survival Trust. But the actual last purebred ram or male of the Norfolk horn sheep was actually died in 1973. So there are no purebred males anymore. And technically there's no purebreds of any of them because they have been bred now with other breeds, including the Suffolks, which technically they made the Suffolks breed themselves. So the ewes from the Norfolk horn sheep were bred with Southdown rams. These are all different sheep breeds. I used to do sheep medicine. I love sheep. So funny story about a Suffolks, because this is what we're about to talk about. We had some at the sheep barn at Virginia Tech where I used to volunteer before I went to vet school. And there was a very large ram, and he didn't like his water being changed out. And I didn't know that before they sent me in there. And so I somehow locked the gate on myself. And he came charging at me and hit me like with his head dead center of my chest into the gate like twice before I finally got out of there. Good times. Yeah, my job's not dangerous at all. Anyway, so they bred the ewes to Southdown rams, and they created the Suffolk breed. So then they used the Suffolk breed, and there was one other breed, I forgot to write it down. And they bred those with the Norfolk horn sheep females. And they are actually still at risk today. But I think, and I forgot to write it down too, I want to say I read that the percentage of actual 100% Norfolk horn sheep is like 90 or 95%. So it's not technically like purebred anymore because they don't exist. They died out, unfortunately. So that's kind of sad. But they are really cool. I was obviously showing us some pictures and whatnot. So that is our sheep slippers from Margaret. Thank you, Margaret, for sending pictures. She sent me a bunch of pictures, but I'm trying to only do like a couple things on each episode because I do tend to ramble on. So, you know, still a little sick. So if I cut and paste stuff, it's because I'm usually coughing. Anyway, so that was our sheep slippers. So this next one is, I don't remember who sent it or if I found it somewhere, but it's a Swordfish shirt, and it's really kind of cool, actually. I would totally get this if I saw it at the thrift or definitely at the bins. I would definitely pick this up to sell. Swordfish are really cool. They're highly migratory, predatory fish. They have a long, flat, pointed bill, which they're known for. Their sword. They do not use that, though, for spearing fish. They usually smack them. Yeah, I mean, not any better. They're predatory. So, very popular sport fish. They can reach the length of 10 feet. And a very interesting thing, their ages are derived from annual rings on their fins, on their fin rays, which is interesting. Not sure they're stopping long enough for people to count those, but I guess if you catch one, you might be able to tell a little bit how old they are. They do breaching, or jumping up out of the water, and there will be some pictures, out of the water and then like kind of crashing back down. Some people think that that is an effort to dislodge pests like remoras and lampreys. For some reason, they have a lot of parasites. They have like 50 species of parasites that have been documented that live on them. So that's weird, because I do think people eat them, and I feel like I'm really glad I don't eat seafood. That's just really gross. 50 species of parasites. That's a lot of parasites. I mean, like, you need to go to a hospital or something. Anyway, as adults, especially if they're at 10 feet long, they have very few natural predators out in the wild. And like I said, they are a big sports fish, and they're really cool. I think they're really pretty. I don't know if I've ever seen, I may have seen them once or twice when I lived in Florida, but I don't know that I've really seen them a lot, like breaching and stuff. That would be really fun. So that is a little bit about swordfish. Good times, good times. Next, we have the bulldog, and these are pajama pants, I think. And they have bulldogs all over them, if I remember correctly. Hope I remember correctly. So I wrote this as a personal thing. Like, it doesn't say this anywhere in like actual books, but they are a genetic nightmare. I'm sorry, bulldog people, but they are. My brother at one point was like, I want to get a bulldog. And I said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. They are, though, a very hefty dog with a wrinkled face and very distinctive pushed-in nose. They're very famous in different realms. There are 39 American universities that use the bulldog as the mascot. The bulldog is the official mascot of the U.S. Marine Corps. And it was said during World War II, they likened Prime Minister Winston Churchill in his defiance of Nazi Germany, because bulldogs are known for their pluck and determination. So that is kind of cool. They have something called mandibular prognathism, which just means they have an underbite. Like that. That's what it looks like. So, interesting story. Sad, but interesting. Bulldogs initially started out as being used for something called bull baiting. It was a sport. They would set they would set dogs on a tethered bull. So basically, like, let them loose at a tethered bull. The dog would grab the bull by the nose and pin it to the ground. And whichever dog did that first was the victor. It was common, of course, for the bull to maul or kill several dogs in these events. I don't know why I had to read that. It was made illegal to do this sport, quote unquote, in 1835, which is good. Bulldogs in general, for their size, have a very short lifespan, like 6 to 9 years, depending. They do have a lot, as I said, genetic nightmare. They have a lot of medical issues, or can. Just a few are hip dysplasia, heart problems, eye problems, cancer, respiratory problems, allergies. And the biggest problem of all is they can't give birth naturally because their big old heads don't fit through the birth canal. So literally they have to be birthed by C-section almost 100% of the time. So basically when people come in with bulldog puppies and they're talking about, ooh, we're going to breed her, blah, blah, blah. I'm always like, okay, well, just remember every time you breed her, that's like an extra, probably at least $1,000 that you're going to have to pay because she's not going to be able to have those babies on her own and we're going to have to deliver them. So that sometimes changes people's minds. But they're a cool dog and they are usually really sweet and goofy. I do have quite a few I see that I really love, but again, you better have some money if you're gonna get one because you're gonna be seeing me a lot. Anyway, so that is the bulldog. Dun, dun, dun. I feel like I don't have like a good like transition between animals here today for some reason. So lastly, we have my favorite, and I saved it for last because this is going to be really long because I love them so, so much. Llamas. And these are some llama pajama pants. I don't, again, remember who sent them. It might have been Margaret, but I'm not sure. Anyway, or it might have been someone else that I don't remember at all. Llamas are amazing. Little known fact, when I finished undergrad at Virginia Tech, I went to live with my boyfriend at the time, and I started my own llama business, and I did training, like halter training for llamas. I did just husbandry stuff, which basically means cleaning their shit, and then I also, what's it called? I did some like baby training and different things like that. And then some like pet sitting, llama pet sitting. Yeah, good times. It was good times. Memories. Anyway, llama, and also my first couple of years, my first year out of vet school, I did a lot of llama and alpaca medicine in Ohio. I miss llamas a lot. I definitely want one day. Llamas are domesticated South American camelids. They're used for, or they were used for meat and pack animals in Indian cultures. They're very social and live in herds. Their wool is very soft and contains very little lanolin. They can learn actual simple tasks after a few repetitions. And for being a pack animal, they can carry 25 to 30% of their own body weight in materials, like in the packs. So that's actually pretty good. You do see them a lot, like in South America. They will be pack animals down there. There are a couple of camelids that are still wild. The alpaca and the llama are both domesticated. But the vicuna and the guanaco are still wild animals down there. They are, so some interesting Aymara, I think it's the way you say it, mythology. They have something called the heavenly llama, which drinks water from the ocean and urinates it as rain all over the world. That's just weird. Baby llamas are called crias, and llamas can live about 15 to 25 years. So there are different types of animals. We are monogastric along with dogs, cats, horses, and different things. Cattle, sheep, they are ruminants, and they have four-chambered stomachs. So camelids and alpacas and llamas are called pseudo-ruminants because they only have 3-compartment stomachs versus the 4 that a full ruminant has. But they are able to just digest lower quality, high cellulose foods. And basically with any type of ruminant, pseudo or otherwise, the reason that they have the stomachs is so that they can actually regurgitate and re-chew different foods, and it kind of goes through a pattern, and then it eventually goes through all the different stomachs to get everything it can out of all of its food. The length of the llama's colon is also a certain size to allow minimal loss of water, because they do live in more arid climates. Female llamas don't go into heat until they're actually stimulated by the act of mating. This releases the egg for fertilization, and many times it does get fertilized on the first try. Llamas mate in something called a kush, K-U-S-H, and this is a laying down position. And it lasts for a little while, 20 to 45 minutes sometimes, which is very different from most animals. Llama spitting is not technically a myth, but a misconception. You know, everyone's like, I don't like llamas, they spit. You have to really make them angry for them to spit at you. The only time I've actually been spit on is when I got in between two llamas fighting over something, and they were spitting at each other. It's a very rare if they're raised appropriately. Now, if there's too much hand rearing in llamas, you know, if there's too much people interaction, not enough llama interaction, they can go south fast, especially males, and they can be very aggressive. So it is important to raise your llamas correctly. They spit at lower ranked llamas in the herd, and that can actually move them up or down the hierarchy depending on what they're fighting over. And you can tell how angry a llama is by what is in the spit. Bet you never thought that. Because, as I mentioned before, they have multiple compartments, stomach. So the farther back in the stomach it goes to regurgitate it up and spit it, the more material is going to be in it. I know that's kind of gross, but that's llamas for you. And if you ever see a llama with its ears pinned back, that's not a good sign. It's agitated. You want a happy llama with ears up and perky and listening to everything going on. My favorite thing about llamas is that they use them as guard animals for flocks, usually sheep or goats. And usually it's only one llama because, like I said, they are a social animal. So if it's just one llama with a group of sheep, they will bond with the sheep if they're put in young enough. Usually around 2 years or so, sometimes a little bit younger. And they bond with those animals, and then of course have the urge to protect their flock. And they will fight against coyotes, feral dogs, that sort of thing, wolves and whatnot. And so that's really cool. And I kind of want to do that someday. I want to have a llama that's a guardian. And I want to have sheep or goats. I don't know, something. Dreams. Life dreams. Llamas are definitely my favorite. I really love them. I liken them to goats. So I know a lot of people probably don't know this, but goats and sheep are a little different. I know, shocking. Sheep are kind of herd mentality, follow each other, you know, like the saying, follow the herd, you know. Goats definitely have their own personalities, and they are they're almost dog-like in some instances, like you can train them and whatnot. And I will say the only difference in this is hair sheep. Hair sheep are more like goats. And I had a hair sheep in vet school. That's another story. But anyway, so llamas are like goats. They do have a lot of personality. They have their own characteristics. Alpacas are more like sheep, and they're not as bright, and they kind of go with the herd. They're all pretty though. So that is some of our information. This is actually a longer video than I thought, but I hope you enjoyed that. Definitely email me, DM me on Instagram if you have anything you want me to identify or you want to learn more about. I really enjoy doing these, but it does take a lot of time and effort to like find the information and the clothes and all that stuff. So I won't be doing these like all the time, but I do want to do them a little bit more often. I hope you guys really enjoyed that. I really have fun doing these. And remember, cats are greater than people. And I hope you guys are having a great weekend. I will see you Monday. I'm premiering a new haul video from my Humane Society thrift honey hole. And check out some of the awesome stuff I got. And next Friday, I will be on Horizon Picks channel auction. Friday night, Black Friday, do your Christmas shopping. I'm going to have new Attack stuff. I'm going to have Star Wars. I'm going to have Looney Tunes. I'm going to have all sorts of things. Mugs, anything you can want, and anything you actually ask for as well. So definitely come hang out with us next Friday for the auction. We will be starting early at 8 p.m. Eastern. So come check us out. We will be on for hours probably. And it should be a really good time. And I'm really excited and I'm really happy I get to do it again. So head it out. Remember, guys, to help control that pet population and have your pet spayed or neutered. Bye.